What's up everybody, my name is Christian and I'm a mix engineer. Today I have my first video with a production and mix breakdown of a song called Too Bad by Connor Price. This whole thing started off with Connor singing me a demo of a pop punk song that he had written. Graham made the beat, he wrote the song, and he said, what do you think? Can we elevate this with some live instrumentation? And for me, I think the pop punk thing is like all about live instrumentation, live drums, live bass, live guitars. And so let's dive into what I added on top of what they already started. For starters, let me show you a little bit of the demo so you can kind of get a grip on what was already there.
I saw the signs, but I ignored them all. Yeah, way too blinded that I saw kissing him back. I said, too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. Too bad if you wanna talk, I'm not in town. Yeah, too bad if you think you want a second chance. I'm not your backup plan, no, I'm not your second man. I said, too bad.
Now I won't play this whole thing, but I will add this whole demo to the end of the video so you can take a listen to it. If you want to like study it and A-B it with the original song, go for it. But I just wanted to show you a little glimpse of this before we dived in. So for starters, Graham sent me 2 drum loops, a synth bass, a riser, and the main sample that was kind of the driving force of this whole song. Let me show you those 2 drum loops. So here's the first one, and this is the chorus section. Here's the second one. Here's the kick that he had added on top of that. The kick is more just emphasis. Here's the synth bass that he had sent. And here's the main sample. So on top of that, I added a bunch of live elements to help lift the song. So let's start with the drums. So we have these 2 drum loops and they sound great, but I just wanted to add a snare trigger. And this is really just more for the body of the snare. Doesn't sound great on its own, but it's more for the body of it. So with that together with the loops. Then I added some crashes from Splice just to give some real kind of crash sound to it. And then here is a jerry-rigged version of Tom's from Battery 4, which I think is from like 1982. That's not real, but it is very old. Here they are. And in context. Works like a charm, man. As far as mixing goes, so I have this transient shaper. This is from a Slate plugin that I think no one uses, and it's not even the whole plugin. It's like a portion of the plugin, but it's just a transient shaper. So for the snare, I hit it all the way. Same thing for the kick. And then the other thing on the kick that I did, just to kind of give some emphasis on the chorus, is I turned off the tape machine for the verses right here, and then turned it on for the chorus, just to give it some extra boom boom when it goes full. And then for the drum bus, just some light saturation, and then some light limiting, just to help glue it together. And this is what it sounds like all together. And honestly, that decapitator is working pretty hard. It's a little distorted when you hear it on its own, but I kind of like that sound when it comes to this kind of music. Here's a bass that Graham sent. And then on top of that is a bass that I had added. And the bass is treated like any other bass, like EQ, some light compression. And then at the end of it, I have this tape machine that I really like. I just like the sonic quality that it brings. It's not super gritty. It adds a lot of low into it. Here's the bass without all that stuff. And here's with it on. And then together with everything. Cool. So the other thing that Graham sent are risers. Super straightforward. Something else that I had added, I don't think you really need it, but it just kind of helps the chorus pop. The boom, the hit. All right, let's dive into the guitars. So I've said this before, and this is kind of a standard thing, but double track everything. I always like having stereo guitars, especially in this case, it just brings a lot of width to the song. Here's the first set. And as far as treatment goes, some light EQ right there. Light compression again. And then this thing is just some extra shine on top, so you can hear this on its own. It's kind of dark. Just helps bring a lot of air to it. And then the transient shaper just to like get that tick, 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 tick on top. So there's 2 rhythms I had added here. There's the verse rhythm, the chorus rhythm. And then this like, you know, Sum 41 lead part that is right on top of the chorus. And then add that with Graham's thing. It's just a nice music bed underneath it. Now the other fun thing that I added are these effects tracks that I think just helps kind of give moments to the song. Just like noise. This stuff, you know. I think this thing is just a, yeah, just on top of the original sample. Anyways, that's all the music part, so let me play it all together. I'll start with the drums and then just slowly add everything else in. Cool. Now let's dive into the vocals. So every time Connor sends me a song, he does a great job tracking his own vocals. And so I treated those how I normally do. Super briefly, the way that I treat vocals is I do a light EQ at the top and then light compression with this red guy right here. And so if I do light EQ and light compression, that just helps make the vocal sound like it's in the room. That's my starting point. Because sometimes vocals get sent to me and it's all kind of, you know, weird frequencies and, you know, transients are popping all over the place. This way, if I start with this starting point, it helps me just have an even playing field. And then I can kind of get into the more colorful EQ, more colorful compressing, saturation. And that's where that, so if there's like an imaginary line right here, that's where those are separated. So like the light EQ, light compression is before this red one. And then right here is where everything starts to get more colorful. So this EQ is really doing a lot of work, a lot of like low mid cuts, some boosts on the higher mids. This compressor's slamming, and this is some pretty hard saturation. I don't usually run it this hard, but because the song's kind of aggressive, you know. De-esser from, you know, 100 years ago, and then fresh air. Again, I'm running this super hot too, but I just like the song needed it, you know. Now something else that I do that I have to taste is this smash and overdrive parallel. I have it on, you know, as hard as it can go for the smash, the tape machine as hard as it can go, and then I just drive it into taste. And again, for this one, I'm running things so much hotter than I normally do, but this one's, you know, at nominal, and then this is at -8. So it's hitting everything pretty hard. And then weirdly enough, and I'm realizing this in real time, I don't have any verb on this song. You can see these are part of my template. So I just have these here if I want to use them, and they are all off. So take a listen to this.
Too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. Too bad if you wanna talk, I'm not in town. Yeah.
And then Connor normally does doubles. These two right here are normal doubles, and then these are falsetto doubles.
Too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. Too bad.
At the end right here, he does the extra vocals.
I guess that's a lie. 'Cause the same lips telling me that I saw kissing him back.
The fun thing that we had to get creative with, I really liked this one part that was right here.
And I said, too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around.
You can see it was a part of his extra vocal thing, but I turned it into a chant. I don't know, something about it reminded me of like a 1990 chants at the end. It worked.
Second man, I said, too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. I said, too bad if you wanna talk, I'm not in town.
And it's literally just copy and pasted. Another fun secret, we don't do this all the time, but if you want some extra high end like sound, just give some extra sheen to the vocal. Connor will do it like a whisper track.
You told me that you could see this year forever. I guess that's a lie.
Just helps add some breath on top. An old Nashville trick. And so yeah, those vocals sound great. That was all him. And then here's what I added. And now keep in mind, I was super sick when I recorded these, but I just really wanted some of those like wild harmony, you know, screaming on top. So here, let me play this for you.
Flags wave high, guess I must be colorblind.
This is without.
People try to warn me about you, but I wouldn't leave you.
So Connor already has his falsetto on top. People try to warn me. And then I added a screaming octave, which I can't sing that high. And I was also super sick. So auto-tune for the win here.
Blind, yeah. People try to warn me about you, but I wouldn't leave you. Told me you and him were only friends, and I believed you.
Now let me solo this for you.
People try to warn me about you, but I wouldn't leave you. Told me you and him were only friends.
Unreal, man. You know what? It worked. And then just some harmonies here.
I said, too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. Too bad if you wanna talk, I'm not in town. Too bad if you think.
And here are my thoughts on harmonies and just vocals in general. Like if you're doing doubles or whatever, I always like to keep it as close to the lead as possible. especially doubles if you're trying to create width. But I do think there's some benefit to like slamming them a little harder or making them a little bit more high end, like just slightly different. It's the same thing that I talked about in a previous video about changing EQs on guitars and like having this one be a little bit more high boosted than this one. If the vocals right here and they're treated the same, cool, it sounds great. But I think if you slam it a little bit more or drive it a little bit more, it just kind of helps bring the width out a little bit more on each ear. And that principle was kind of added to the harmonies here. I really drove them hard, but it's because I wanted them to stand out and I wanted them to have that grit. Can't really hear the fact that they're super distorted like that, but in context, when they're soloed, they're like they sound ridiculous, but in context, they sound great, you know?
Too bad if you're feeling lost and not around. Too bad if you wanna talk, I'm not in town. Yeah, too bad if you think you want a second chance.
And I think I drove it with that saturation plugin. It's this thing. It's driving hard, man.
I said too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. If you wanna talk, I'm not in town.
Oh, and this too. Here's on the bus of all the harmonies.
If you wanna talk, I'm not in town. Too bad if you think you want a second chance. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not your second man.
Crazy. So driven.
Then you threw it away.
There's more high octave stuff. What else is here?
16 missed calls. Clean shot, point blank.
It's crazy, man.
Fall out, boy. Cock it and pull it. Kissing him back. I saw kissing him back. I said, too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. Too bad if you wanna talk, I'm not in town. Yeah, too bad if you think you want a second chance.
It worked. So here's everything together.
I saw kissing him back. I said, too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. Too bad if you wanna talk, I'm not in town. Yeah, too bad if you think you want a second chance. I'm not your backup plan, no, I'm not your second man. I said, too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. I said, too bad if you wanna talk, I'm not in town. I said, too bad if you think you want a second chance. I am not your backup plan, no, I'm not your second man, nah.
And that's it. If you guys are still here, which I don't know why you would be, probably going to be a really long video, but honestly, thank you. And if you guys like this, please comment below. Would love to hear your thoughts on other songs that I should work on, or if you guys even like this video. I don't know. This is my first one. Also, even though this is long form, I probably skipped a whole lot of stuff. Let me know in the comments if you guys want more information on anything that I missed. But that said, I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and stick around for the demo. I'll leave it right here. I'm going to leave it right here.
I saw the signs, but I ignored them all. Yeah, way too blinded by euphoria. I couldn't see, I had the shortest straw. Red flags wave high, guess I must be colorblind. Yeah, people try to warn me about you, but I wouldn't leave you. Told me you and him were only friends, and I believed you. Thinking it was all inside my head until I opened up the thread. I saw the pictures in the text, I couldn't breathe. You told me that you could see this here forever. I guess that's a lie. Cause the same lips telling me that I saw kissing him back. I said, too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. Too bad if you wanna talk, I'm not in town. Yeah, too bad if you think you want a second chance. I'm not your backup plan, no, I'm not your second man. I said, too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. Too bad if you wanna talk, I'm not in town. Yeah, too bad if you think you want a second chance. I am not your backup plan, no, I'm not your second man. I gave you my heart, I thought it was safe. You broke it apart and then you threw it away. And I just hate that there's a piece I'll never get back. You'll have it forever, I'll accept that. 16 missed calls, heard that you looking. You had a clean shot, point blank, saw it and took it. We had a fall out, boy, how you cock it and pull it. Told my dad about you funny, he said I dodged the bullet. You told me that you could see this here forever. I guess that's a lie. Cause the same lips telling me that I saw kissing him back. I said, too bad if you're feeling lost, I'm not around. Too bad if you wanna talk, I'm not in town. Yeah, too bad if you think you want a second chance. I'm not your backup plan, no, I'm not your second man. I said, too bad